pretty crazy that all of this is coming off again. Okay. Looks so good. No air bubbles. Secured nicely. Really, really happy with that.
There we go. Oh, there we go. There it is.
Oh my God.
With Hurricane Irma, boats tossed. Here we are at this marina.
Hi, my name's Colin. I used to be a chief engineer on super yachts, but gave it all up to buy a hurricane-damaged Lagoon 450. My friends and I are fixing it up as we go, and are determined to circumnavigate the entire planet. So subscribe if you want some inspiration to live life to the fullest. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the things you did. So what are you waiting for?
Morning everyone. Hope you're having a good morning. Alright, so it has been an absolute nightmare trying to find contractors to help us out here. I've had probably 12 different contractors come through. Some of them have given ridiculous quotes to help us do the repairs. Others have sort of promised that they'll do the job. I would love to name and shame a couple of these companies, but I better not. One particular company said he'll do the job. He's got 2 guys coming with him. He said it was locked in. He promised the world. I'd talk to him on the phone and he'd say, yeah, I'll come tomorrow, come tomorrow, come tomorrow. And then towards the last week, he just stopped returning my calls and ignored my text messages, and it's been a nightmare. So we're kind of back to square one. A lot of the contractors that we turned away are now busy. So I can't believe we have to even go through this. This is Florida. This is meant to be, you know, one of the biggest boating capitals of the world. So finally, we've got a bit of a team happening now. Alright guys, so I told you about the struggle we were having with contractors. Finally, through a friend of a friend, we've found Forrest. He lives up in Stewart, which is just about 40 minutes north of here.
Yeah.
And he's been building boats up there, and he's done quite a lot of stuff with molds. So the right guy came along at the right time. He's going to help us do the big job, which we've been kind of waiting for someone to guide us through, which is the transom mold replacement for Blues Traveller. So we're sitting on Orion now, which is our donor boat. What's the plan?
Ooh la la. No, I'm super stoked to meet and to get this underway.
Yeah.
So the ultimate plan is we've got the donor boat. Does everybody know that yet?
Yeah.
We got the donor boat. So we're basically going to pop a mold off of a couple sections of the boat. That's the good piece. Mm-hmm. And that process is. It probably seems a lot more intimidating than most people realize.
Yeah.
The main thing we want to do is make sure that when we start to lay spray gel coat and resin and fiberglass onto a good piece, we don't stick all of our materials to a good boat.
Yeah.
So that starts by just cleaning the surfaces really well. We're going to sand them down. We're going to buff them, polish them.
Yeah.
So we want to create a mirror finish on the good piece.
Yeah.
And then we're basically going to lay up laminations, and once we have basically the reverse of the good piece, we're going to pop off that mold. We're going to marry that to the bad boat, the Blues Traveller, and then we're then going to laminate from the inside. Whenever you're doing a mold, it amazes me. Sand scratches, even like a hair. Yeah. Not my hair, because I don't got any left, so I don't worry about it. But your hair, right? Say your hair were to get in between the mold process, and you were to lay your mold, pop the mold, you'd actually see in the piece the imprint of a hair. Yeah. It's that fine. Yeah. So we really want to make sure we go through it and just get it really a flawless surface. Yeah. You know, putting the time on this end, not only are we making now this piece a little bit better on the good boat. Yeah. But exactly, we want a flawless piece so that we're minimizing the back end, how much work we put into the new part. We are going to do a flange, which is essentially a way to separate or make our mold 2 pieces. There's so many curves and angles. Instead of trying to hit it all with one big mold, we're going to create a flange down the middle so that we can bolt together the mold, separate it.
So we've done molds before, and some have been a lot more successful than others.
But I think that scared us about this one is just the size of it. And we were thinking originally to pop the mold off and then lay it all up inside the mold, like under the boat or in a workshop or something. The problem with doing that is if the mold moves at all, then you can be out by half an inch and then you've just created a whole bunch of more work, right?
Right. I mean, the reality is, although these are identical hulls, you know, they were made at different times, temperature, what guy laid this up, when they attached the cap, when they used the crane, where the jack stands, like all these things can shift, you know, a quarter inch, an inch, and you start getting at a distance of a couple meters, and now you can be off by a bit. So the odds of them being a flawless match are pretty low.
So we've finished waxing it all up. We're just putting some plastic protection around everything, and we're gonna now start rolling the gel coat. So we got the orange tooling gel coat, and hopefully it doesn't stick to the donor boat. With the concentration on its face. And we've gone with tooling gel coat.
Yep, we've got it's a gel coat specifically made for molds.
Yeah.
It's a little bit harder, lasts longer, some more longevity. Not that we're pulling a ton of molds, but it's just it's orange.
It's pretty crazy that all of this is coming off again. So because we got the wax behind it, we're going to gel coat, glass, and then all of this is coming straight back off the hull. Crazy.
Stuff.
We're going to be able to glass down in that little hole and stuff. Gel coat on this.
If you're wondering why we're tearing apart perfectly good fiberglass, it's because if we were to lay this, we would have a bunch of imprints in the mold, hard edge. So if we simply rip the edge apart, then this will kind of blend into fiberglass. Yeah, that's it.
Put 3 or 4 pairs of gloves on, so that when they get too gunked up with resin, you just pull it off and you don't have to mess around grabbing gloves.
You ready to go?
Let's do it.
We're doing 64 and 20.
Oh, it's supposed to be 5.
Catches fire.
Wayne,
Do you have one of the big ones there?
Yeah, Colin's got a big one.
Oh, time lapse.
coming.
You know, one of the tricky things about popping a mold off an existing boat, especially a large panel, that's a large flat panel, is we really want to be careful not to build up too much heat. So where some people might just hammer 4 or 5 laminations just for the sake of getting it done.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that, because if we build up too much heat, we now could transfer that heat, could cause problems in the existing boat, the Orion, which we don't want to cause any issues. And just, I mean, heat is a bad thing. You never want too much heat built up in any glass work you do, because all that heat is going to transfer to is movement, warping, you know, shrinking. Like, so I like to use the smallest amount of hardener as possible. I like working time. I don't like feeling rushed. I like to be able to work it out and really, you know, especially for a big thing like this. So.
Yes. Yay! Maybe light. Sorry.
I'm the one throwing my hand in front of your roller.
Morning, guys. Let's go check out how the mold's looking this morning. Looks so good. No air bubbles. Cured nicely. Really happy with that. So we're just going to scuff it back a little bit just by hand and put a couple more layers of glass on to give it a bit more strength.
Beautiful.
Number one, número uno. Good.
Honestly, like, gloves work so well, you know?
Is that mixed? Yeah.
We'll have to go buy some gloves.
Am I still recording?
Yeah.
Okay. So we need to unroll it a little bit.
Oh.
That goes up to you. Up. Down.
Yeah.
There.
Right there.
Okay, it needs to come my way. There.
Hold on, don't unroll it. Yep.
That's a huge bitch.
It's a big bitch. It's a big bitch. Okay. It's getting old. Yeah. He's locking up on me.
Fuck yeah.
You probably need that. You want it to look real nice. The money shot.
That should be enough, though. Yeah. Look.
Easy peasy. Nice and easy. Oh yeah. Oh! We've got a flange.
Alright guys, so we just waxed it up. We've done 4 coats on all the gel coat and we did 5 coats on the flange. Now we're gonna do a couple of coats of gel coat, just like we did the outside, same thing. Throw some glass at it, and then tomorrow morning we can drill some holes through the flange here just to get the alignment of the 2 pieces, and then we can pop these molds off. So tomorrow morning is going to be super exciting. So we've put a flange in here just for the way that it's shaped. If we did it all in one piece, it'd just be really hard to get it off around this edge and everything like that. So we've put a flange in there, so it is going to come off in 2 halves, and there is going to be a little bit of a some fairing to do under that flange joint. But yeah, hopefully we put plenty of wax on there so that this inside will pop off, outside will pop off, and then we can see, then we can cut the back out of this boat. So we've got a big moment right now. We're about to pop the mold off. It's been a lot of work that's gone into this, all the prep and everything to make sure that this does not stick to our donor boat. So quite a big moment. We're going to pop the inside mold off first, and then we'll pull the big one off after that, and then put it in some shade until we need it. We'll start cutting that boat open. So to see how this goes.
The cameras are on you. How do you feel?
Well, I'm nervous. Let's see what happens.
Put that in there easy.
Yep.
Thank you.
Keep going.
Yeah, sure. Maybe climb up there.
Put another shrimp on the barbie.
Still never put shrimp on the bar.
Put lobster on the barbie.
There we go. That's a nice sound, boys. Eureka! Oh!
Wow.
Stairway to heaven. Oh, there we go. There it is.
Wait a second. You gotta make sure this cork.
Oh my God.
You got it?
Wow.
Lay it down like this.
Wow. There we go. The mold is off. Looks really, really good. We didn't pull any of the original gel coat off the boat, which is a good thing. All around the flange is looking good. Really happy with it. You happy with it?
I'm happy with it.
You're happy, I'm happy. Made a little mistake here, not a big deal at all. It's right on the join anyway. But that's what happens when we didn't quite get our chop mat, our first layer of glass, right in that corner. It was hard to do with this tight radius, but then so the gel coat's chipped. But again, that's like right on the join where we're gonna have to do some repairs anyway. So super happy with this. It's got such a smooth finish, you know. That's why it was so important to do all of that prep work, that we've just ended up with this beautifully smooth surface, so we can just lay up straight on top of that. We're just going to trim all the excess glass off, and then we've got something that we can work with.
Happy. Cerveza.
Screws in it. Just
You smelly mofo. How dare you?
oh, you
At least they went downwind.
crop dusting it. So we're gonna throw some screws in here just to hold it aligned properly.